it was about time to rank all, I think 11 finalists, yeah. But, yeah, so this is going to be a busy week for me. Of course, aside from school stuff, I'll be doing a couple of rankings. Today, I'll be ranking all 11 finalists in this year's Eurovija.LT. But not only that, but this week I will also rank all San Remo songs and possibly all San Marino Song Contest songs. And that's basically the point. And also Melody Festival in Heat 5. So, yeah, this is going to be a busy week for me, especially with a lot of content coming your way. So, expect a couple of delays. So, but for the meantime, for today's video, I'll be ranking all 11 finalists in this year's Eurovija.LT, which as of this point has just selected its wildcard entrant. That is one of the fan favorites, Noah Blue, in which, let's face it, this looks great, but I'm gonna get to her in a moment because I'm gonna talk about the 10 finalists that made it through the 5 heats. 2 per heat, of course, and yeah, that's basically it. But one went to the wildcard round, and Noah was actually the one who made it through the final. So, I'm gonna explain all of them right here because this is going to be interesting. So, with that out of the way, let's get started because this is going to be a long video to hold for a couple of stuff. But speaking of Eurovija.LT, yes, of course, I mean to say that there was a couple of entries that we know in previous act or heats, but now we had to see all of them here. So, yeah, these are all the finalists, as I just said, but enough talk, let's get started, because I just don't want to waste time here. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with number 11, fresh from Heat 5, Walls of Water with Unshakable. Now, first of all, surprisingly, the song did manage to get second for some reason, despite the fact that it's one of the most decent ones here. Because, to be honest, the tone is meh, still meh for me. Even though, but yeah, even though I have to say that the tone is kind of an funky vibe, but it was much to say about the song. So, Unshakable is a decent entry for me, so I still give it a B tier for that. And yeah, and there was a couple of swap between some of the entries that I originally supposed to rank in various, whatever this thing is. But I just found out that my number 10 now is actually, wait for it, Noi, fresh from Heat 1 with the song Stand Up. And before you ask, to be honest, Stand Up is also a very decent entry for the most part. I kind of like his vocals though, but unfortunately, his, staging was alright for the most part. Especially the fact that this song is one of the most decent ones in my opinion. I have to say that this was, needless to say, downgrade from what I can hear in the studio version. So, to be honest, this gets a B+, which is a downgrade, but still, yeah. Number 9, Vilnius Voices with the song Grisham, which they made it from Heat 2. I think it is Heat 2. Hold on, Heat 2, right? I think it's Heat 2. If I remember correctly. I think Heat 2. They made it through Heat 2 because I just can't remember. But yeah, they just made it through the second heat, of course. And yes, I said that right because they made it through the second heat. So they have a beautiful ensemble, which is very impressive. But a group full of kind of a co-wow, something like that. Well, it's interesting to have this in a Eurovision type of context. But still, it kind of doesn't even fit that tone. Because, yes, especially in Eurovision, you only need 6 performers. But I think in Eurovija.LT, if you look at this, we only have 6, which is the maximum of people to be allowed in a Eurovision performance, and which they did. So, yeah, even though the downgrade, well, it's still impressive to hear their voices, so A-. Also from Heat 5 is Lolita Zero with Salve Meum Mundum, and also, to be honest, it's still basically the same thing as from what I can heard previously, and pretty much the same thing as you might think of, because we know that the leader is actually, I think, a transgender. I don't know, but if I said that wrong, then let me know, because I didn't know that Lolita is actually transgender. Because yeah, but yeah, to be honest, this song is still a very dark, or kind of a creep one, but still it was impressive for the vocals for the most part. So A minus. For Livid Sako is also good, and fresh from Heat for 3, Heat number 3, and for the most part, the song, despite the fact that this was actually a comeback for the Junior Eurovision 2011 entrant from Lithuania. Well, Sako is also okay. Even though it made it to the final, I think I'll still give that an A minus because the tone is still great, but still it is alright. So who knows? Okay, so we have the order of Heat 1 made through. That is Wugile with the song Ikona Semaite, and it's still the same as what it was. Of course, we know that the song has still the same tone as what it used to be, but there's not much to say about Ikona Semaite, except that I still give it an 8 here for that. A bit of an upgrade, but still. And yes, we have a clincher one here. So Atikin, who I think originally, I think it's a B sort of a tier some stuff, but now I ranked him an A tier for because of the message that this song has brought, according to a couple people that said about this song's message. And yes, I know I'm according to the message of the song, which explains the culture of Lithuania. I think the Kainti Samala is also great because of how impressive it is, and the rap part, to be honest, I'm good for that. So at least the song might have a chance of winning, but still, I don't think so if might do that because we have a couple of favorites that has their own chance of winning this year's Lithuanian national selection. So for this, of course, as I said, I ranked Atikin A tier. Number 4, Black Biceps with Let Me Cook. Of course, there's only as much to say about Black Biceps, except for the fact that they returned from the 2025 edition. Well, I have some same thoughts regarding to their performance from, Heat 3. So, 8 here. Still 8 here, so yeah. And of course, the last 3 are all from Heat 4 that made it through Heat 4. The latter went through the wild card, which is Nora. So, number 3, Shower, which now starts as SHWR without the vowels. It's now been silenced as SHWR but still pronounced Shower with the song Contact. And I have to put exclamation mark for this because... But yeah, Shower, despite the fact that we know that they finished second and... You know what I mean, the 2024 or inaugural edition. Well, to be honest, this was a big one because the vocals are still great, of course, and everything else still the same as what it was. So 8 here. Lion Seeker, the runner-up from last year, who lost to Catharsis, came back with Solo Kira Mas, which is a very great ballad compared to the overall insane tone of Dwobe last year. So, despite the fact that I have to say a little more of a downgrade than Dwobe, well, I have to praise for the vocals that Lion Seeker has put into this, so still giving it an 8 here for that. And lastly, for my personal favorite and number 1 for this ranking is Noah Blue with the song Hold My Own, which made it through the wild card round and won. That was very interesting result, but thank God that song did make it. And unfortunately for Gretchen, that didn't make it, especially that Oranmo guy, Thomas G, and that other person, I think. Oh, the song that sang Shine, Chocopas, I think, Chocopas. So, yeah, Noah Blue clinched and eventually made it through the final. So that was a very impressive one. Thank God for you, viewers. But yeah, to be honest, I really love the overall tone of this song, as I just said. So there's not as much to say about it, except that I still give it an 8 here for how beautiful it is, the vocals, theme, and everything else. Okay, so this final is pretty much more interesting than last year, except for the fact that we only have a couple of entries that make me impressed. Of course, we got Wugile, Atikin, Black Bicep, Shower, Lion, and Nova. And yeah, this has gone even way better than last year's final, which to be honest, there was a couple of favorites, including the eventual winners, Catharsis. and black biceps too, because to be honest, beside my wig is really hilarious and it should be a contender to win, but instead we got catharsis. But for this year, let me see if that should change things up, because that will be happening on Friday the 27th, and that didn't conflict with Super Saturday for some reason. So we're gonna be here for a little interesting one, because we're gonna be here for a whole 3 hours of that. We got the final, we got the super final, and everything else. Oh wait, hold on. Did they ask the super final out? Hold on, let me check. Oh wait, the super final has been abolished. Wow, the winner is chosen in a single round. So, yeah, and yes, that wildcard thing is actually new. I never seen any of this, but this was the first time we saw a wildcard in the Eurovija.LT selection. So that was interesting. I've never seen that concept before, but we never had to see that super final concept again. So let's see if that new format would work out, because yeah, they just got rid of the super final thing, but let's see if that new format should work out as well. So I'm looking forward to it. And also, yes, that will be happening on Saturday morning Philippine Standard Time. Yes, I'll be watching it, as it didn't even conflict my scheduling for Saturday. I have to go to a workshop, you know, something like that, but especially for my skills. But I will not explain furthermore, because this video is getting a whole 11 minutes long. So with that out the way, that's it for my ranking for all the 11 finalists in Eurovija.LT 2025 or 2026, sorry. Eurovija.LT 2026, the grand final, which will happen this Friday at, I think, 1900 CET. 1900 CET will end at 2200 CET, which is 5 a.m. here in the Philippines. And yeah, of course, future videos including Sanremo 2026, San Marino Song Contest, and Melody Festival and rankings. And possibly I should start doing my own top so far in the entirety of the Eurovision Song Contest, but maybe coming soon, because I will be busy for the whole week. I have a couple of activities to do, but with that out of the way, that's it for today's video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell, and check out my socials on my link tree. My name is Duncan Nichols. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll always be united by music.